Hi, I'm Neil Beck. I was a doctor in Perth, Western Australia for 53 years and now retired. I spend most of my time working on a program to help people with mental health problems and addiction problems, mostly through their phone. I worked in hospitals and then for many years was a family doctor, GP, in the suburbs of Perth, and for 5 years had my own addiction clinic in Victoria Park, which was the epicenter of drugs in Western Australia, and came to the conclusion that the people who suffered the most and got the worst treatment were addicts, and that 95% of addicts were people who had 2 or 3 mental health disorders for which they had not got proper treatment, and in the end, in a crisis, in desperation, they took street drugs which they knew were dangerous, but they were desperate. And the problem was that there was never going to be enough mental health care workers for all the people who needed mental health care, and especially the poorer people had great difficulty. There were long waiting lists at the free government clinics, and getting relief on the streets was just much faster, much easier, and at first quite low costs. But of course it always ended up with a very costly addiction that made them poor and then desperate. Why were there never going to be enough mental health care workers for all the people who need mental health care? It was mainly because the tools that they used were weak. Today, we do everything with tools. Everything that needs to be done, there's a tool that helps us do it quickly, cheaply. But in mental health, there are only 2 tools, medicines and talk therapy. And medicines had the problem that as many as possible, as many as they could get away with, were addictive. Because the pharmaceutical industry wanted to sell as much medicine as possible. So virtually all the medicines for the commonest problem, worry, anxiety, were addictive, and most of the sleeping medicines were addictive, and the 3 main medicines for ADD, ADHD were addictive. And this caused terrible problems. That's Ritalin, dexamphetamine, and Adderall. And also, the medicines were too slow. When you're suffering from mental health disorders or from addiction cravings, you want medicine that works fast. But most of the medicines, nearly all the medicines, were tablets or capsules. And when you swallow a tablet or a capsule, it takes half an hour to an hour before it starts to get into your bloodstream and go to wherever it's needed, mostly in your brain. And it takes 1 to 2 hours before it's working strongly, and that's just too slow. And talk therapy, which is wonderful if you can get enough of it, but it's very slow too, and it takes an hour the first time you see a patient to understand their background and the problems and what has caused their mental illness and what makes it worse and what the solutions would be, especially if they've become addicts. So that's just too slow. And the other problem with talk therapy is it's too costly. To be a therapist, you need at least a 4-year Bachelor of Psychology from a university, and preferably a master, a 4 or 5 years master's degree, or a 6 or 7 year PhD degree in psychology. And to be a psychiatrist takes 10 or 12 years, because you have to have a general medical degree, which is 6 years, and a couple of years practice in general medicine, and then 3, 4 or 5 years of postgraduate training in psychiatry. So these mental health care workers were highly intelligent and highly qualified, and had done very long training courses in which they didn't earn much money, so they needed to be paid well. So talk therapy, which is slow, was very expensive. So over the last 22 years, I've been developing a complete package of tools that will enable people to do a lot of self-help, and will enable them to do that very conveniently, anytime, anywhere, on their phone, and mostly at no cost. And if we can get a lot of this work done through self-help on the phone, then that leaves the mental health care workers more time to help the people who can't help themselves, or the more difficult problems where people need help. The tools are first of all 83 under a minute videos. There's no faster, better way, more convenient way to learn about a mental disorder or a distress that you have than to watch a 1 minute video on it. And you can watch it on your phone anytime, anywhere, as many times as you need. When in a consultation, people often get confused, and they can't come back the next day and do it again. If they're lucky, they can come back in a week, but with videos you can watch them over and over again as many times as you need till you understand everything. The second tool is websites, and I have 2 websites. The first one is mentalhealthvideos.com, mentalhealthvideos.com, but that's rather long, about 14 pages, and people wanted something shorter, so now I've also got smilefixit.com, which has got everything covered in 2 pages with links that you can tap for more detail about anything that is not in that 2 pages. The third tool is an app, the Mental Fix-It app, because if there are 83 1-minute videos, which ones do you watch? Because different people have different problems and need to watch different videos. And with the Mental Fix-It app, you can download it in a few seconds. You just go to the App Store or the Google Play button on your phone and tap it and download the free Mental Fix-It app. And it has 19 questions that you can choose by tapping on one of 3 different answers, whatever's right for you. And the program analyzes the answers that you've tapped and can immediately report to you which 6 of our 83 under a minute videos will help your particular problems most. The instant report, the app instant report, also tells you which medicines are likely to work best for your mix of problems. It also tells you what all the problems are, not that we think, but what you've tapped, in order of severity and importance. And it also gives you a graph which helps you to understand whether you're getting better or not. And that's very important, because if your graph is getting better, your total score graph is getting better, that means you're on good treatment and you should continue with that treatment. But if your total score graph is not getting better, then that treatment is not working and you need to revise the treatment. The fourth tool is live streaming, which is what I'm doing here, because a lot of people like to watch live streaming. So I do it 4 times a week at 7 p.m. Perth time on Wednesday, Friday and Saturday, and 9 a.m. on Sunday morning Perth time. Sadly, I missed Wednesday because of a health problem, and on this coming Sunday it's going to be a bit earlier because of a family gathering. Lots of people want to talk to me, but I can't talk to them because we have so many viewers. But if you have any comments or questions or criticisms, please send them to me through the platform that you watch the live streaming on, which may be TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Instagram or Facebook. The live streaming is on all 4 of those. Sometimes, because I'm so old, I get mixed up with the technology and one of those doesn't work for a particular session, but I'm happy to say that tonight I think all 4 of them are working. So the 5th tool is powder medicine. Why powder medicine? It's because when you're suffering with mental health distresses or addiction craving, you want medicine that works very quickly, and tablets and capsules take half an hour to an hour to start to work, and 1 to 2 hours to work strongly. But if you drop powder medicine on your tongue and suck it, it starts to work in 5 minutes. Your tongue is pink or red because the blood vessels are so close to the surface, and if you drop the powder medicine on your tongue and suck it, it gets into those blood vessels starting in 5 minutes and strongly in 10 to 15 minutes. And soon you get what we call taste conditioning, and then as soon as you taste the medicine, it starts to work. So that's so much better. And the next tool I'm trying to find I can't find it, is pocket powder medicine dispensers, so that you can carry your powder medicine in your pocket wherever you go, and you can whiz it out and drop the powder on your tongue in seconds, anytime, anywhere, even driving the car or on the bus or in a queue. If you start to feel your distress or start to feel your craving, you can whiz the pocket dispenser out and drop the powder on your tongue. And it starts to work in 5 minutes, and soon it starts to work as soon as you taste it. And that gives wonderful relief and helps many people to avoid suffering and or to avoid taking addictive substances. The 7th tool is a meditation aid. This is the heartbeat meditation aid, which is just a short stethoscope which enables you to listen to your heart. That's the hearing part. You put that down on the upper left side of your chest and you listen to your heart, because you learn to meditate by focusing on something and forgetting your problems. And the things that they usually teach you to focus on are your breathing or a word, but they're not very mind-grabbing, and the people who are very disturbed and who would most benefit from meditation often can't learn to do it. But you can listen to your heart with the heartbeat meditation aid, and your heartbeat is loud and clear and very attention grabbing, and it's much easier to learn to meditate in that way. And then when you've been doing that for a month or two, you can do it focusing on your breathing. And we can send you one of these heartbeat meditation aids anywhere in the world for $25 plus postage. The eighth tool is another pocket powder medicine dispenser, pocket powder dispenser, but this dispenses tasty fruit powder, not medicine. The medicine dispensers dispense such a small amount that it's not enough, but with the taste of lovely taste of fruit powder, you can avoid putting other stuff in your mouth like tobacco products or alcohol drinks or sugary cakes and biscuits and lollies and chocolate. And you can make habits by dropping lovely tasting powder on your tongue. My favourites, vanilla and chocolate. And you drop the lovely, when you think about doing your habit, and some of the habits that we want to do and we should do, we don't like very much, but if every time you do it you drop some lovely tasting powder on your tongue, you soon look forward to the powder taste, and that helps you to do the habit, whatever it is, and that when you do it often enough it becomes a habit. And you can break habits in the same way. When you think of doing something, a habit that you don't want to do, like smoking or eating chocolate or eating sugary biscuits and cake if you're diabetic, when you think of that, instead of that you just pop 1 ml of lovely tasting fruit powder on your tongue, and you focus on the lovely taste and try not to think about the thing you don't want to do, and you keep repeating the tastes, and if you can delay the habit, that weakens it, and soon you can do a bit less of it, and that also weakens it. And when you weaken the habit and do less of it, you can then delay it even longer and do even less of it, and eventually you can quit. Or some things you don't need to quit, but you can reduce them, like many anxiety medicines, all the benzodiazepines, Valium, Seropax, Xanax and so on, are addictive, and so I used to see people who are taking 20, 30 or 50 of those tablets a day. In fact, I had about 10 people over the years who were taking 100 Valium a day, and they lose their effect. That's how addictive medicines work. They give you great relief to begin with. They don't cure anything, so the problem comes back, and when it comes back you've also developed, your chemistry has developed a little bit of resistance to that thing, so you have to take a bit more to overcome the resistance and fix the distress or craving. And when you take a bit more, then the resistance or the tolerance gets a bit more, and then the next time you need to take a bit more. So you have to take more and more and more. And people who are really distressed end up on large amounts of alcohol or Valium or Seropax or Xanax or Ambien or Stilnox or things like that. And you can reverse that by focusing on lovely tastes, which you can have in seconds, anytime, anywhere, even driving the car or on a queue or at your desk or at your bench. You can just whiz it out and drop the powder on your tongue and enjoy the taste and postpone the addictive habit or substance. my 9th tool was going to be what I call phone treasure. I wanted to put lots of lovely stuff on the phone that people could whiz out and enjoy at any time if they felt bad or they were trying to avoid something. And instead of a lovely taste on their tongue, they could look at something lovely on their phone. Photos of family or grandchildren or whatever, or beautiful rivers or mountains or buildings or cars or whatever. But I got so interested in the 10th tool that I didn't have time to finish the 9th tool, the phone treasure tool, so we'll do that a bit later. And now I want to tell you about the 10th tool, which I think has got wonderful potential. So what is the 10th tool? The 10th tool is Mental Fix-It Scroll Plus. Mental Fix-It Scroll Plus. Because what I gradually realized was that people not only didn't want to watch 10-minute videos, they wanted to watch 1-minute videos. They also wanted to scroll. It's just incredible that TikTok, which started in 2016, has got over 1 billion viewers every month. Every month, over 1 billion viewers, and many of them just scroll. They just race through lots and lots of information, and that's how a lot of people want to work now. So if we want to help those people, we got to make tools like that. So the Mental Fix-It Scroll Plus allows you to scroll. You can scroll through all the mental health problems and all the mental health solutions in 10 or 15 minutes. But the problem with scrolling is you can do it very fast because there's no detail. But of course, if you've got a mental health or an addiction problem, you want detail, but you don't want the detail about the 10 things you haven't got. You want detail about the 2 things you have got. So what the scroll will do when it's finished, and it's about 2/3 of the way there, but I want to give you a bit of it tonight, is that you scroll as long as you want, and every item that you see as you scroll through that's important to you, you can just tap on it and watch a 6 to 16 second video that gives you more information about that item. And when you've done enough scrolling, you can tap the enough button, and the enough button will immediately give you the links to all the under the 6 to 16 minute videos that you've watched, because you probably want to watch some or all of them again, some of them 3 times. And the 6 to 16 second videos have each got links to 1-minute videos, and also to the Mental Fix-It app. So you scroll. When you've done enough scrolling, you press enough, you see all the videos from 6 to 16 seconds that you've already watched, and you can watch them again if you want, or you can go to their linked 1-minute video, which gives you quite a lot of information. It's amazing how much information you can see in a 1-minute video. Getting things down to 1 minute is really hard. As Sir Winston Churchill once made a long speech, and he apologized and said he didn't have time to make a short speech, because making things short is hard work. You have to gradually weed out every word possible. And you end up with just the most important things in 1-minute video. But if you want, you can still go to the 4 or 5 minute app, Mental Fix It app, and we're reducing that. We're working on reducing that to a 2-minute app, and get the 6 videos that will help you most. So let me give you some examples of from the Mental Fix It Scroll Plus. The first 17 items are about bad feelings, because bad feelings is usually what troubles people most with mental health disorders, and that's what drives them to take dangerous addictive substances to get relief. So I'll just read you the items that you scroll, and then I'll read you the text of the brief videos. We've got all the items done, and we've got about half the brief video text done, and then we'll film those brief text videos, and then we'll put it all up on the mentalfixitscrollplus.com. mentalfixitscrollplus.com is the website, that name that we've registered. So under bad feelings, Group 1, bad feelings are usually what trouble us most. Item 1, our brain, glands and gut produce 25 feel-good, happy chemicals that make us happy and healthy, but sometimes we don't produce enough good feel-good chemicals. And the brief video will say, our feel-good, happy chemicals are dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, noradrenaline and over 20 endorphins, which we can and should keep boosted and strong. Item 2 is our feel-good chemicals also boost our immune system that fights infections, allergies, inflammation, autoimmune diseases and cancer. And the text for the 11-second video is, our immune system is cells, antibodies and chemicals in every part of us that fight diseases. If they're weak, we're at risk of getting sick, so keep them strong by boosting your endorphins. The third item, we also have 4 normal but unpleasant warning feelings: loneliness, sadness, anger and anxious carefulness. They're not nice, but keep us safer and happier. And the video, the micro video text is, without warning feelings, we'd have many unmet needs and unfixed problems. So always check and respond to any warning feelings. Item 4, by smiling, the feel-good chemicals are boosted by smiling, laughing, healthy foods and drinks, physical activity, sunlight, fresh air, nature, flowers, pets, music, beauty, good sleep, good relationships, hugging, kissing and good sex. And the 10-second video will be, often check that list of feel-good chemistry boosters and keep using them to keep healthy and happy. Item 5, bad feelings suppress our feel-good chemistry and immune system, so make us unhappy and unhealthy. It's a vicious cycle. And the 14-second video says, the vicious cycle is bad feelings depress your feel-good chemistry, which causes more bad feelings. People who get old and sick early have weak feel-good chemistry and immune systems, but you can beat that. Item 6, to be healthy, happy and safe, build things into your life that boost your feel-good chemistry production. And the 6-second video, I think it's about a 12-second video, you can't have a healthy, happy, safe life if your feel-good chemistry and the immune systems are weak. So repeat some feel-good chemistry boosters often until they're habits. The 7th item under feelings is, have some feel-good words you use often with a smile. That's great, fantastic, just right, beautiful, magic, congratulations, I did great, hey, I made it. The 8-second video says, often thinking and saying positive words is very helpful for you and can be very helpful for people you're with. Item 8, guide yourself with some wise sayings such as, honesty is the best policy, actions speak louder than words, Rome wasn't built in a day, you reap what you sow. And the video for that is, wise sayings can be very helpful for you and can be very helpful for the people you love. Now let's skip over to item 10. Most persistent bad feelings are caused by 11 common, findable, fixable mental health disorders. Find if you have any of them with the Scroll Plus or the Mental Fix It app. And the 13-second video says, everyone has some mental health problems, and it's very important for you to find and understand yours and their solutions as early as possible when they're easier to fix. The longer you have mental health problems or addiction problems, the worse it gets. Problems cause problems that cause problems, and it gets so complex that it's very hard to fix. So get in early. Item 11, when you feel good, think about and remember what made you feel good and do phone selfies of your smile. Later, cut bad feelings with the smiling selfies and good memories. Yes, so when you feel good, you take a selfie of your smiling face and you remember what made you feel good, and when you feel bad, you look at your smiling face and you remember the things that made you feel good. So you could press enough here, and that's enough about feelings, and go to the videos. The second group of mental health things is to be happy and healthy, grow your mental health. The first item says, what usually most helps us to be happy and healthy is growing our mental health. And the 14-second video says, unlike in poor countries, in developed countries, if you're mentally healthy, you can get everything else you need. But I saw many people with mental health problems who were sometimes hungry, cold, and homeless. The second item, mental health is good feelings, good thinking, good habits, and normal warning feelings, with not many bad feelings, thoughts, or habits, and no ignored warning feelings. And the 6-second video is, being mentally healthy is so much better and safer. The fourth item under mental health is to get fully better, find all your problems in a few minutes, anytime, anywhere, with a fast Scroll Plus and or a Mental Fix It app check. Face-to-face consultations are good but slow and sometimes miss things. A doctor or a psychologist doesn't always remember to ask you everything. I know that because I often forgot to ask people until I first of all developed a 20-question checklist, and that helped a lot, and I missed much less. But checklists, people had to come to my consulting rooms, and it took time, and then we found that the Mental Fix It app was much better, quicker, and they could do it on their phone anytime, anywhere, as many times as they needed to do. Item 5, mental health problems and addictions are emergencies. They should be fixed fast and as soon as possible before they cause nasty complications. And the 16-second video on that is, mental health problems cause more and more problems which get harder and harder to understand and fix. As early as possible, start Fast Scroll Plus or Mental Fix It app checks, and it works best if you get those close to you to do the same. mental health problems and addictions are always family problems. And it's hard for one member of the family to get better if other members of the family have got mental health problems or addiction problems. So one of the beauties of being able to do it on your phone is you can show them. You can show them the videos and you can show them, and then they can do it on their phone, and you all get better together instead of you trying to get better with your family dragging you down. What's the next group? The next group is Downer mental health disorders. The first item, depression is not truly fixed until its causes are found and as far as possible understood and fixed. Depression is the second great mental health disorder. So many depressed people, so many people on antidepressants. And antidepressants help a lot of people, but they don't help everyone, and they don't do everything. Depression has got many different causes, and there's different kinds of depression. And what I found was that if you could understand the causes of your depression, you got a lot better. But the causes of your depression were very often in early childhood. There were probably things in depressed people usually had things, disasters, traumas that happened to them in adult life that made it worse, but often the roots started with family problems in infancy. So you couldn't always find the causes, but I found that it helped people to go back and say, okay, you're depressed because your mother didn't do the right thing by you and your father was an alcoholic, but your mother had her problems because her mother had her problems, and your father had his problem because he went to war, or he had a terrible traffic accident or whatever. If you understand the causes, you will feel better. But still, most people still benefit from antidepressants. But one of the main problems with antidepressants is they take somewhere between 1 and 3 weeks to start to work, and very depressed people find that depressing and sometimes lose faith and turn to alcohol or street drugs instead. So I combined antidepressants with some faster medicines that were partially antidepressant, so that people get results in the first day. They don't get the full results, antidepressant results, for 1 to 3 weeks, but this powder medicine, which I call Upfast, gives them some relief from within half an hour of starting it, which is a great help. The second item under Downer mental health disorders is, are my focusing, concentration, decision making and self-control weak because I have attention deficit disorder or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder? The video, 14-second video, is poor focusing and concentration, impulsiveness and often hyperactivity are usually due to ADD, ADHD. The front part of your brain's only half awake, so you can't concentrate and focus very well, and you're very impulsive and you make snap decisions, and often they're wrong. And people with ADD are particularly vulnerable to street drugs and alcohol because they impulsively just grab them. Someone says, oh, this will fix you, and they just grab it, and they don't stop to think that their best friend is an addict in great agony because of this substance. So the fifth group is upper mental health disorders. Sleep. Item 1, for health and happiness, good sleep is a necessity, not a luxury. Item 2, to fully fix worry, anxiety as far as possible, understand what started it and why and how. Item 3, understand and start fixing irritability, anger, violence disorder. Number 4, understand and start fixing post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Number 6, make schizophrenia less of a problem by finding good friends, things you love doing, and places you love to go to. Now, I'm afraid that that's all I've got time for today. But as I mentioned, I'd love you to send me, through whichever platform you watch this live streaming, your comments, questions and criticisms, and I will respond to as many as I can. Anyone who's a follower, that means I've got a link and I can reply to their comments, questions and criticisms. Also, I always respond to emails. My email for that is healthestuff@gmail.com, spelled the way it sounds, healthestuff@gmail.com. But if you can't remember that, just go to the website smilefixit.com, smilefixit.com, and you'll find the email address there. And if you email me with your comments, questions or criticisms, I'll respond within 24 hours. So thank you for watching. Today is Friday, so I'll be back tomorrow, Saturday at 7 p.m. Perth time, and on Sunday morning I normally do that at 9 a.m. but because of a family gathering I might have to do it a bit earlier and finish by 9:30 or 9:45. So all the best, and I hope that this has helped you.